In what may be a 360-degree turn, President Muhammadu Buhari says his government may not pay the 5,000 stipend on the social welfare package scheme promised by his party at the campaign and in its manifesto. That's the focus on the program. Thank you for joining in, everyone, and welcome to Politics Today on Channels Television. I'm Sheon Joaquin Baloye. We begin tonight with the return of the president to the country after almost a week of his journey to some Middle East countries, where we understand several bilateral agreements were signed. The president, who arrived in a presidential jet, was received by the Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, and the Minister of the FCT, Mohammed Bello, at about a few minutes past 5 o'clock this evening. The president will not respond to questions from journalists, as was said to have swiftly departed in his official vehicle. And tonight on the program, our attention shifts to one of his comments while he was away in Qatar. It is no doubt for majority of Nigerians living in some of the toughest times of their lives. Economic situation is horrifying, to say the least. No electricity to set up investment and development. Unemployment rate is high, as the jobs are not even there. Take a look at the picture of the state of livelihood of Nigerians, which the All Progressives Congress, when it was seeking office, stated clearly in their manifesto. And these are some of the figures from the APC stated in their manifesto. And clearly they show that 60% of Nigerians live in poverty and just 3% have health care coverage, while barely half of our children transfer from primary to secondary school. Roads and rail systems are in disrepair. Less than 35% of the Nigerian people have access to electricity. Unemployment put out of over 30% and up from 5% a decade ago. An estimated 55% of youth are without jobs. Not enough jobs are currently being created to employ the 1.8 million new school leavers. These are some of the figures that were put on the APC manifestos. The party in its campaigns had promised it will organize social welfare packages for the unemployed and indigent Nigerians. It was a loud proclamation in their campaigns. The idea of paying 5,000 naira monthly stipend to some Nigerians, but that appears not to be the priority of President Muhammadu Buhari. In Qatar, the president said this. He said his priority is now different from that envisaged by his party, the APC. He said this clearly. This 5,000 just for the unemployed have got a slightly different priority. I would rather do the infrastructure, the schools, and correct them and empower agriculture and mining so that every able-bodied person can go and get work instead of giving 5,000 to those who do not work. End of quote. That's what the president was quoted to have said in Qatar. Well, let me again show some of the manifesto of the APC. They promised that they were going to create a phased social insurance scheme to assist certain groups in the population with social welfare payments through a phased program, starting with young people under 30 years and the unemployed. They also stated that senior citizens over 70 years, the disabled and armed service veterans may benefit from this. They promised a free daily school meal for all children attending primary school. They also said 3 million new jobs a year will be created. That they will guarantee free education. They say they will employ at least an extra 100,000 police officers. In fact, they also promised to provide interest-free loans for university, technical school students who meet the required entry qualifications. They said that direct conditional monthly social security payment for 25 million of the poorest Nigerians. But the question now, the big one for that matter, is that Nigerians were convinced to vote the party based on these promises and some more. But coming into office, the realities may have changed the perspectives and the narrative. And so are these promises realistic? Maybe that is the reason the president feels 5,000 freebies every month to some millions of Nigerians is not part of his priority, considering the economic situation in the country. But take a listen to what the spokesperson of the Buhari government only yesterday told Channels Television about these social packages. And here is Lai Mohammed, the Minister of Information.
When you campaign, you say we'll do A, B, C. But when you win elections, you prioritize. We're elected for a 4-year period, not for 1 year. Things we hope will not be bad all through these 4 years. So we are still faithful to those promises. But as you have rightly said, when we were campaigning, the price of crude was $100 a barrel. Today is $30 a barrel. So definitely, we will have to downsize some of the things we intended to do or prioritize them. But this does not mean abandoning those promises. Now, you do not make a budget for 4 years. You make an annual budget. And in this year's budget, we've outlined what those part of the promises that we intend to keep. Those we cannot keep this year, we'll keep 2017, 2018, 2019. This is how government works.
That's the Minister of Information, the spokesperson of the Buhari government. Well, let's get down to see some of the realities of the time as they confront us right now. These are some of the figures. As you know, are some of the things that you go to the market to buy, and these are the things that are readily available for you economically. These are the realities of the times. Nigerian 2016 budget estimate is put at 6.08 trillion naira as presented by President Muhammadu Buhari to the joint session of the National Assembly, where the oil benchmark there was put at $38 per barrel. Oil production projection put at 2.2 million barrels per day. At the parallel market, from what we understand, dollar sells for about 300 naira, and a Nigerian worker receives a minimum wage of less than $100. That's about 18,000 naira monthly. Well, it might be even less than that considering the situation of the dollar now. Foreign reserve is about $30 billion, which brings out the fact that per person is about $350. That's the current economic realities of the situation right now in Nigeria. Maybe that's what has made the president made a U-turn on this particular 5,000. Let's get down to the discussion of these issues. I have joining me from our Abuja studio a political analyst and a lawyer, Mr. Ben Nwosu. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Mr. Ben Nwosu joins us from our Abuja studio. Let me start by asking you, Mr. Nwosu, with what we've seen on the ground and the response that we got from Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the spokesperson of the government, what do you make of the promise, campaign promise, and government performance? I guess we are having some connection issues there. We'll take a moment on the program. When we return, we get down to talk to my guest on the program. Dele Momodu will join us, and also we'll be hearing from the government and, of course, Mr. Ben Nwosu. Join us again.